Welcome to Every Goddamn Week.
What's up?
This is Dan Camilleri.
That's me, Daniel.
He's got a mustache.
I know.
And I'm Chris LaRose, the host of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really loud and probably clipping a lot, but that's okay. We'll just
Let it roll.
We'll just settle into it real nice and
Get low.
welcome to NPR.
Talk all sultry.
And we're doing Top Gun.
Yeah.
So, welcome, listener. If this is your first listen, this is a podcast I do every week.
Every goddamn week.
Every goddamn week that I feel like it and I have the time.
Sure.
And so, every once in a while, I think what I'm going to do is just hundy-dundy. Just do 100 episodes, and that'll be it.
Hundy and then you're Dundee.
One hundy, and then I'll be Dundee, and then I'm going to move on to some other thing. Or maybe just reinvent it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what number would this be?
I think this is 75.
Oh shit, so you're closing in.
In like the final quarter, but it's a lot. It's like, if I really did do it every week, it'd be like half a year, so...
Space it out.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
And yeah. So Dan reached out to me, just totally randomly.
Yeah.
Hadn't talked to him in a long time.
I can't even do the math.
I don't know.
Since 07.
I've done too much math on this podcast already. 07, yeah. 007.
Yeah.
That was our grad year.
And then the random meetup, which was like probably 09 or 10.
We walked from like a train station to a bar, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. We talked about the band Devil Driver, I think.
Yeah.
That's
sounds
it.
Right. That sounds right. See, I had concussions before, during, and since high school from like football and rugby. And then I had a really big one in 2013, and it put me out of work for like 6 months. I do like physio, like brain recovery physio for it. It was super wild.
Wow.
But things like that, just whoosh.
I didn't know you had all that brain damage, man.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Dan's a pilot, by the way.
But no, and that's why I don't play rugby anymore, is because you gotta pick. Like I was pretty good at rugby, but I was way better at flying, so that's all behind me. I super duper miss it, but
Yeah.
flying's way better and kind of cooler.
I'd say so.
So
It's a new phase of your life.
yeah, we'll see what happens in the next 10.
Yeah, man. We were talking about side quests earlier. You did a car sale side quest because of COVID, basically.
Yeah.
COVID's not been kind to the aviation industry.
It's been the worst, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people I know still don't have their job back. At mainline carriers. I won't name companies for whatever probably the reasons I can't, but
Sure.
yeah, people I know, they're still on layoff, so they're on EI collecting it, which
It's a bummer.
super bummer.
I'd done it for 3 months. That was the longest I did it, and I lost my fucking mind.
Right?
Yeah.
No, luckily I was on, sorry to cut, luckily I was on inactive duty, so I collected the wage subsidy instead.
Oh, okay.
So I was making like 75% of my salary instead of whatever the EI percentage was, so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
not bad, but still not great.
Not great.
But hey, it's life. And
I got to do a side quest.
you did a side quest.
So.
And I was saying I did a longer acting side quest for a while.
Yeah.
Basically to close out 10 years of doing like media stuff before,
Why not?
which of course culminated in this most excellent podcast. It honestly wouldn't exist if I wasn't like obsessed with that stuff for so long. And now we're here.
And we're right into it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
It's super cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
You know what else is super cool?
What?
Top Gun.
It makes me shivery every time.
Yeah. I've only seen you've apparently memorized it, or like you know it really well.
It's up there with Lord of the Rings for sure.
Wow, really? Oh man. I'm
a fiend.
Yeah, I gotta take a break from rereading Lord of the Rings right now, actually, so I can read like Dune and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Right.
The film.
Yeah.
And I never actually finished Dune because I suck.
I never got to start it.
I read most of it on a bus, and then
Okay.
down from Whistler, and then like read the rest for like a week, and then stopped. No,
Yeah,
I just restarted. I'm like, after I'm done rereading Lord of the Rings.
There you go.
Point being, I'm very familiar with Lord of the Rings, not as familiar with Top Gun. I'm a different person every time I watch this movie, so it's like, this is like the most emotional I've ever been watching it for sure.
What part hit you?
I mean, if you know Top Gun at all, you know what happens
Yeah.
to Goose. I think it was knowing that I was so like, I don't know. The other times that I've watched it, I'm just so into the dog fights and the training and the
spectacle.
Yeah, the imagery, and it's so amazing. And then like when that happens, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, it's so sad. And this time I'm like, I couldn't not be sad leading up to it, and there's just so much that cues you up for it.
Right.
I got it all here.
Good.
In my notes.
Yeah, it's gonna be more organized than I have it. But.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it'll keep us sort of on track, which is like really hard.
I can only imagine. Like my brain's all over the place all the time. So.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we have these pumpkin flavored beers,
which are delicious. But
yeah, Parallel 49 does a good beer.
I love the art on the front. Okay. I'm like kind of a beer guy. There it is. But it's really the artwork they do for the labels that reels me in.
That's what gets me. I have, you can see from looking around here, I collect a lot of random crap.
I like it.
I have 2 Funko Pops there. Didn't buy those for the record. One of them's a Nazgul, so
yep.
We'll bring Wraith there with the top hat on.
Yeah.
Most of these are things that people have given me. We got a painting of Wendy from The Shining that my girlfriend Megan did for me.
Oh,
it was really nice. I didn't even show off my prized possession, which is I'm just gonna hold this up, the camera real quick.
I can't move really.
What were we saying about mines being all over the place?
Yeah, right. What was that?
If you can see this, you're a privileged person, and you can see this on video. It's a. I'm just gonna set it up right here. Thank you.
Just as a little prop thingy.
Yeah, it's a signed picture of Malcolm McDowell that I got at Comic-Con. He made fun of me incessantly when I met him, and it was magical. He's a really, really awesome, funny guy. But anyway, so
to get roasted by a great is kind of honor, right?
Yeah, basically, it's like exactly what you want. He like told I had like a I was dressed up like Spider Jerusalem from the Transmetropolitan comics, and I had Sharpied on tattoos on my chest and stuff. And he's like, "What's this on your chest? Are you wearing a bra, man? This guy's wearing a bra." I'm like.
No, I'm not. Shut up.
I was with like a girl that I liked too. And, I didn't feel bad at all though. I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
I paid $50 for my autograph and I went home.
As you do.
Several days later.
That works.
We got to talk about Top Gun now. So you got into this. You instigated this meeting because you've been listening to the podcast. So you no doubt know about the segment. That I do every goddamn week, which is spoiler-free mini reviews.
Yeah.
Do you have one prepared?
I don't.
I'll give you a second to think of one. While I do mine. What's it called? My lovely girlfriend Megan works for the Canucks Autism Network, and she has I would say a strong passion for helping people with autism. So she found a show called Love on the Spectrum, and anything with like love in the title, I'm generally like probably not going to be into that. But I watched one episode of season 2, and we ended up watching the whole season in one night.
Nice.
And it was really awesome. It's the most heartwarming thing I think I've ever watched in my life, and I can't spoil anything unfortunately because I want to really gush about it. Like, it's it was like I really thought it was going to be like, can we switch to Seinfeld or something soon?
Something we know.
So, something I want to watch and will enjoy, that I'm like guaranteed a good experience. But no, it's really great, and recommend it to basically anybody who isn't totally heartless. They can open their minds to something, and you learn, because I don't know that much about autism really.
No.
But it was cool seeing how people have to deal with different challenges that I don't.
No.
And some that I do.
Yeah, right? It's, it's one of those really underrated is the wrong word, but like not well known kind of functions that people have to deal with.
There's a Tom Cruise movie called Rain Man that actually like put it on the map in terms of like nobody knew what that was before that.
Popularity,
I guess.
Mainstream.
Consciousness, let's say.
Better word.
People were conscious of it after that.
They were aware.
They're aware.
Yeah.
Still pretty confusing to a lot of people though. Like, and if you don't know that that's what you're dealing with, you could just judge a person and be like, you know.
Well, actually, we went to high school with someone, just discovered she's on the spectrum.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out her name later.
Yeah, I don't want to divulge that information, but it's not my news to tell.
No.
But
and not everyone would care.
Yeah, but again, I'm very much, you know.
But I'm super curious now. I really want to know.
Secrets for later.
Well, I went to the Art Institute in a media arts program, and I ended up meeting a lot of people who were on various parts of the spectrum. And it was pretty cool watching them grow and, again, seeing some of the challenges they had to deal with.
Yeah.
But they would get through it and graduated and crushed it and made friends and,
nice.
And, you know.
Which is, they were, part of society the way it should be.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, this person,
right.
that's they're on the artsy side of it, kind of like that too. So, that's where they've been living their whole life and not knowing how and why things were the way they were, but diagnosed, now it all makes sense.
Yeah. Awesome. So, man, that would be such a relief.
Right? Just knowing.
Well, yeah. This one girl, this is kind of a spoiler, on the show, she said, like, it was the best day of my life when I found out. Because I was like, I thought I was just something, it was just an unknown. Yeah. And she thought, you know, why are these things easy for them and not for me? And things like that. And then it's like, oh, this is way easier to handle now. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a spoiler for me in your review?
I do, I guess. Has Squid Game been covered?
Actually, no. I don't think we've brought it up on the show. So. Okay.
I mean, it's only been out a couple weeks, maybe a month at this point.
I guess so.
On Netflix?
It's just blown up so much. It seems like longer.
It's based on, basically, it's a Korean series. And a lot of what they like to do, them Koreans, is a lot of like, think of it as like a Hunger Games kind of stuff. Do you really know about it at all?
Oh yeah, I watched a few episodes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we spammed it. We watched it in a day and a half, the whole thing.
Whoa.
Like, once it was on, we had a friend visiting from Victoria, and we was just like, it was garbage weather. We're like, it's happening. We're just crushing the whole series.
Nice.
It's only 9 episodes, but they're like an hour and a bit each, so it was a bit of an investment, but whatever, worth it. Anyway.
It's worth it. It's a cultural phenomenon now. So
yeah, it's exploded, which is kind of nice because a lot of the Korean-style television is kind of like Hunger Games, where there's an ultimate goal, and it's everyone has an equal chance, equal playing field to kind of get to the goal. But it's kind of a commentary. I'm going to jump around. It's kind of a commentary on kind of society now in terms of like the inequality financially and opportunity-wise, where a lot of people are just born with a silver spoon. Other people just have to grind and fight, and sometimes they never get there. You know, and
it's a game that affects your whole life.
Yes.
Like, you know, and we just think of it as normal. You know, it's life. Of course, life is this weird game.
Right, and some people win better at it than I do, but you know, I think it's a must watch. A lot of people have troubles with it because it's dubbed. Which I find distracting a lot of times. Like Bruce Lee movies, it's just so bad in terms of dubbing. You have to love it. You know what I mean?
Dubbed. I watched it with subtitles.
No, I watched it like dubbed.
Is it? Oh, interesting. Was it? And you found it okay, or?
Yeah. So like normally what's a Money Heist or something? It's a Spanish one on Netflix. Anyway, it's also dubbed. But what really messes with my brain sometimes is like, I like to watch the mouth move. Yeah. Because it just makes more sense for me. But when it's super different, I'm like, I just can't focus, and I lose interest like right away. But the story and how it was playing out in Squid Game just. It sucked me. I could ignore it better, right? So some of the voice acting is kind of terrible because it's this person kind of trying to portray the actor's emotion and reaction. So it's like, "Hey, you," and it's super corny sometimes, and that can be a little distracting. But it also kind of makes it funny. It can kind of take the edge off on some of those serious.
Yeah, it can. It adds another level for better or worse. I find. Yeah. I remember seeing the movie Akira in the theater, and it was the first time at midnight at the Rio a few years ago, and it was like seeing it for the first time, not just because I was in the theater, but because it was subtitled. Because up to that point I had only seen it on like a VHS. I bought it at a thrift store when I was a kid for $1 or whatever, and it was like crappy VHS and looking not so good, but also it was dubbed, and I think there are other Akira dubs, but there's this one that's just like the main character is the guy that did, I think, Leonardo and the Ninja Turtles, and it's just like just like, come on, let's get on our motorcycles and go. And like, it's
just super animated. Like,
it's just so cheesy.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, and I'm like, it's losing a little something here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've heard the sub versus dub thing just to the end of time at this point. And like some people just swear by one, and
Yeah, I get distracted with subtitles, so if I could turn them off, I will.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I like visuals. So I don't know. Now I want to try Squid Game with dubs.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, why not?
Yeah,
I gotta finish it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but
You can't. That's part of the thing.
I'm not gonna.
We're gonna spoil Top Gun though, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do it. Hop in.
I should have. Yeah, I got my guitars here. I could.
Can you play it?
No, I should have learned it.
That would have been ultimate.
I could just be on here, just figuring it out for like 20 minutes.
Why not? No. No. Yeah. Start it out.
I was trying to sing it to myself, just on that note, and I started going into the Lord of the Rings thing. So now I want to like create like a medley on guitar where it starts off as Top Gun and then goes into like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, just into the Shire, like super peaceful, but like
sure.
Why not?
I don't know. I wonder if it's in this. I got to do some musical study here, and like you'll get a PowerPoint presentation of like how they're similar.
Yeah.
First thing I wrote here, inspiring music.
Yes.
And it's right now. I don't think it's the full on like guitar solo, but it's got that same like
yeah,
like almost like Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, it's they really delay the onset. They like allow for a lot of build up. Because that opening scene, it's kind of like 1.5 times speed. It's like kind of slow motion, but kind of not. It's all silhouette.
Yeah,
so
it's like sepia tone almost.
Yeah,
the way and it's supposed to look like sunrise or whatever.
Yeah, like San Diego.
And just yeah. You ever go down there?
I'm there all the time.
I know. You must be.
I fly over Miramar
down the coast all
every time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, Fighter Town, USA.
Wow.
Yeah, and I fly when we go down to San Diego. It's on the left side of the aircraft because we fly right down the coast, obviously. And it's just this huge airfield and all these jets just symmetrically parked. It's super satisfying to look at, and it's like Top Gun's down there. And it's a real school.
It's like it must be nearby. I got a hard on.
Yeah. All-time favorite line.
Yeah, that one's so well timed.
Yeah, top 10 for sure. But yeah, no. So yeah, the music's slow progression.
Yeah, it's so like the magic is built up very well. Because, I mean, right after this, you have like a nice encounter with where they're up in the air, but it sets the tone so well first. Where it's like, no, you're not just gonna watch some cool stuff.
Yeah,
you're gonna like feel something and get inspired, and
it's gonna be emotional the whole time.
Yeah,
it's gonna be emotional.
Like, I can't think of another word except magic, because it's like, there's just the smoke everywhere and billowing, and I'm like, this is good movie. I like this.
Yeah, and how they open with the that kind of sepia silhouette bit, and then it goes kind of into that montage of jets launching, and that's when the Kenny Loggins kind of kicks in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so I have it right here. Sepia sound jets, so smoky and cool. And then there's a really sweet takeoff, and then Highway to the Danger Zone begins. Which is cool, because there's actually no highway. There's no roads at all. Where they're going, they don't need roads.
They don't need roads where they're going.
No.
Fun fact about that before we continue. Kenny Loggins wasn't originally the one to do that song.
Oh.
Toto was slated to do a similar...
Whoa.
So Kenny actually wrote that song.
Yeah.
Harold Faltermeyer, I forget the name of the guy. Anyway, someone else, some other German guy wrote it, or like kind of similar, and then Kenny Loggins, after he got chosen because Toto dropped out. Yes, Africa Toto.
Yeah.
They pulled out last minute, so they're like, "You're next in line, Kenny," and he kind of did a tweak, and they went with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just like in the movie.
Right.
Toto freaked out. They lost their edge and they had to get out of there. And then Kenny's like, "I'm number one now."
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. That'd be so different, but it would still kind of fit.
Right. I would have liked to hear what they had, but
I'm very curious if there are any like tracks out there.
Probably deep somewhere in the Paramount category or catalog.
Somewhere in some salt mine somewhere. You know about that, eh? They put like old film in salt mines because it keeps the air so dry.
That makes sense. I didn't know that though.
Now you know?
I do know.
I got fun facts today.
Right.
So Highway to the Danger Zone. It's definitely like, okay, your heart is in it, and then suddenly it's like, oh, my balls are in this too.
Yeah.
This is cool.
All of me is engaged.
The most important parts.
Yeah. But you need to fly.
Yeah.
Especially in F-14.
And I wrote it feels a bit like watching professional sports. Because just like, I don't know, just the way it's sort of like showing all the crew and stuff, and I'm like, man, there's just so many people behind this going right.
Right.
And this whole movie has kind of that, it's almost like a sports movie in some ways.
Which is funny you say that, because that was the purpose.
Oh, what do you mean?
So, Tony Scott, the Ridley Scott's brother, I didn't know that until just the other day. Just randomly.
I just found that out.
And randomly it just came out like,
sense.
oh, they're
right.
Talented. Some people are sibling athletes, sibling directors. Anyway, so it started out with, there was a article in the Californian or something. It was called Top Guns, and it was an article about fighters, like Top Gun, the actual weapons training school. And it was kind of going on about them. So, gapping on the guy's name all of a sudden. Anyway, bought the article because they wanted to write something like, this would make a sick movie. And so they basically wanted to turn it into like a sports, like an athletic movie, which is
that's so funny. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, because it totally has that going on. It's like, and there's obviously layers to it.
Yeah.
But there's like competition and the way it's shot. There's a plaque.
Yep.
That makes so much sense. Cool, man. Got the right guy here today.
Yep.
Indian Ocean, present day.
Yep. Sweaty people everywhere.
Yeah.
Nothing but sweat.
Which is perfect because we're in this like sweaty little room with no windows.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we'll feel it. Talk to me, Goose. That's the first line. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is Tom Cruise, actor. May have heard of him.
I think he did that one movie. It's like something about a mission.
Yeah, he's in. Are you thinking Eyes Wide Shut? That one where he's with his wife. And
well, that one where he slides across the floor in his socks, or.
Yeah, that was a cool one. Yeah, risky business. It took me forever. Fun Halloween costume, by the way.
Yes.
We're doing this right before Halloween. Not sure when I'm releasing it, but working on my Beetlejuice costume.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you if you have a plan for Halloween, or are you gonna say fuck it?
I'm on reserve at work, so I might get called into work. I'm on reserve on the 30th and 31st, so I don't know.
Okay.
My costume might just be my uniform. I don't know.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And at least like we can't even like wear a fun tie or anything. Professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, of course. It would ruin the aesthetic.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, so Talk to Me, Goose. That's so we were we got Cougar, Merlin, Maverick, and Goose. And Maverick and Goose are best bros, like true, like just family. We find out later Maverick's got no family left except Goose.
Goose and his family.
Goose has a great family.
It's an ideal family, actually.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it leaves a little something. Because he's got a son, but you're just like, I bet in a couple of years that daughter's gonna come along and he's just gonna have like the family unit.
Yeah.
You want to see two grown men cry on a podcast?
Just you wait, people. Just you wait.
Goose says, "I'll clean him and fry him." There's so many great lines.
I know.
It never stops. I couldn't write it all down. It's the whole movie.
Yeah, they're all one-liners.
So much of those stomach notes are like, cool footage of fighter jets.
Yeah.
I'd say so. And then there's two bogies.
Yeah.
And they got to deal with these guys.
Damn Soviets.
Yeah, I know.
Cold War era.
It was a different time.
It was. The MiG-28s.
A big deal is made about these.
Yeah.
They're pretty badass.
Yeah, they were, at the time, faster and more nimble than the American equivalent, which would have been the F-4. It's a Phantom. Super maneuverable. They used them a lot in the Vietnam War. And then when they transitioned to the F-14, forget the maker. Anyway, the F-14 was like the U.S. Air Force's go-to at this point after the Vietnam War, just because it was like a supersonic jet, could do air-to-air superiority, air-to-land, bombing runs and stuff. But the MiG-28 was like the Soviets' kind of answer to.
They were trying to like up the ante
exactly.
kind of thing.
As war and armies do, it's always
Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So tensions were high, Cold War, Indian Ocean.
Of course, and here that's like it's right on the edge all the time because they're like the whole conceit here is like they can't fire on these guys. Nope. It's gonna be a pretty big deal if that happens.
Do not fire till fired upon.
Right.
That's the line.
Which is cool too because then you see like Maverick's respecting the rules. Sometimes.
Yeah.
He's respecting this rule because it's a really big rule, and he doesn't want to like cause like a Doctor Strangelove situation where the whole world is. Oh, I spoiled that movie. Whoops. You don't want to blow everything
next
up.
week's episode. We're gonna fill in the blanks.
They lose him in the sun. Like there's just so many like tactical things here.
Yep.
It's shot so well. You feel like you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, Maverick, I'm going for missile lock. Hopefully we can scare this guy out of here. That's the idea. Get him to bug out.
Get him a tone.
Oh, yeah, what's the tone thing?
So, when radars lock, they obviously get an oral tone saying that the radar detection has locked on to the target that they've acquired. There's like targeting pods on the bottom of the aircraft.
Okay.
They're obviously more advanced now. There's like infrared and they can do like 360 swivels or whatever, but this one's it's more just line of sight with like a little bit of splay. So once it's attached to the radar signal that they've set it to, aka the MiG-28s, when you watch the movie, there's like kind of an icon on the enemy jet, and there's another one that they're trying to like match up.
Right.
Because it is a line of sight, so that's the pilot in real life will be trying to like get in there, trying to get it on because. Once they can connect, then it's locked, and then they get the oral tone because when you're flying in a high stress, like anything in high stress, you get tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Right? You start to lose auditory capability. That's just a stress reaction that everyone has. But it's just another mode to kind of confirm that you have what you need. So then that's when they can fire, and hopefully, because it's still in the 80s, the tracking on the missiles not amazing because we miss a couple times.
Right.
Through the movie.
Oh, that's interesting. It's funny. Yeah, you bring up just the stress reaction.
Yeah.
But it's still like you need like a tone like that. My cousin actually invented a thing that like this is his business now. He's been doing this for ages, it seems, and like it's for like skydiving.
Yeah.
And well, particularly for like wingsuits.
Okay.
Which my cousins do.
That's super cool.
Pretty nuts. Yeah. And like similar thing. It's like a thing in your ear, and I'm not sure what it's reacting to, but it makes like a different tone depending on how you're doing. Basically, he tried one where it was like on your eye, like Dragon Ball Z.
Oh no way!
But there's no way is right because you're looking at something an inch from your eye instead of where you're fucking going.
Yeah, right.
And you're going pretty damn fast.
Pretty close to the ground too sometimes.
You're just exactly. That's
alarmingly close.
That's the goal is to really skim along the surface.
See how close you can get to death without actually.
You don't want to actually.
No.
That edge is great though.
Yeah.
Man, that's one of those things that'd be so cool to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But we flip him the bird instead of shoot him down.
Right. Yes. So this is how he gets rid of him. When I first saw this as a kid, I was just like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen." It's like, so he inverts, flies. He's like a meter or two over the enemy, and takes a nice picture. Or Goose takes a picture of him flipping him off with the Polaroid. Just everything about this is just. Perfect. It is. Mwah!
It's like you can't shoot him, might as well fuck with him.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I need to point out because it bothers me is they're at altitude. So they're flying high over the ocean, and their oxygen, their face masks are off.
Yes.
Which it shouldn't be.
Right.
Because they're not in a pressurized. Well, they're in a pressurized kind of cabin, like in an airliner. That's why you don't need to breathe oxygen the whole time because it's pressurized.
Yeah.
So if they lost pressurization, they'd pass out within
they'd be screwed.
Over probably the altitude they're at, they'd maybe have like 10 seconds useful consciousness. Whereas when they show the Soviet pilots are like Darth Vader, like masks, like everything's good to go, right? But it's just one of those things. Always I'm like, it should be on, but then it's on right after, so whatever. But it's just so we can establish who we're looking at.
I didn't notice, but that makes a lot of sense. Obviously, like you have to have Tom Cruise's face. Come on. It's an expensive face.
It is. It is.
Yeah, see the money on the screen. Michael Ironside, cover that face up.
Right? He's got a mug.
He's a character actor.
Yeah.
He's one of the best, though, isn't he? Best of the best.
I got a fun fact with Michael Ironside later when we bring him onto the screen.
Keep listening, people. So, and then Cougar freaks out.
Yeah.
And takes off his mask.
Well, you're breathing perfectly good oxygen, man. That's what you need. Like,
yeah,
you do that.
Keep that on. I think, for me, it's sort of like, I don't know much about piloting, but I've heard that people, when they're scuba diving, freak out and pull their masks off and drown. So, I guess.
It's one of those, because we're still in the COVID times, having that smother feeling over your face, like, it doesn't bother me at all. I'll wear it all day, every day. I could give two shits.
Right.
But when you're in a high stress and you get that, like, you need something to
just like open it up.
Get out, yeah. So like I get it, but
I think it's almost physiological or something. Who knows? And it works for the movie because you get to see Cougars flipping out, and it's like
how sweaty he is.
He's so sweaty.
They're always so sweaty.
Hey man, it's tough up there.
Yeah.
These are dog fights. Ironically, dogs don't sweat.
Yeah.
No. Maverick touches down on the deck, but then he just like takes off again to go like hold Cougar's hand basically.
Yeah, guide him back in.
Guide him back in, and really establishing him as like a good guy.
Yeah.
Very important to do that quickly here.
Yeah. Go out of his way to help fellow aviator, which in that scene it's kind of funny how they do that technique on the carrier deck. Obviously it's realistic because they do it all the time, but it just for some reason I'm like, it should have cat anyway. But when he's guiding Cougar in, there's a scene and it always gets me when they're looking over at Cougar's jet, and he's like, "You're a little low, Cougar," because the plane's in like a right bank. It's not turning, but it's just in a right bank.
Oh.
Like this. And so you're right wing low, completely straight and level. Well, he's level, not straight, because he's in the bank. But he says, "You're a little low, pull up," and he rolls wings level. I'm like, this.
That's,
up and down is what we need, not left, right. So I'm just like,
I don't know how they edit it so well that I guess I'm not looking for it, and I'm more into the drama of it, but it's like, I'm sure there's so many things like that I'm just not seeing. They're like...
Well, no, as a non-aviator, you wouldn't know.
Why would I know?
Right.
But now you're telling me and I'm going to see it every time. I'm like, yeah, you go like this.
You idiot, that's why. Noob.
I know physics.
Yeah.
I took that shit. I know that. And then, he has a terrible shit landing. Very expensive.
Yeah.
They mentioned how much these things cost.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm working on a house in Kitsilano, $3.5 million house, and about $3 million of that is just the property, because the house is like needs help,
right?
And we're there to help.
Yeah.
The appliances that they're getting for the kitchen, we're talking a fridge, dishwasher,
Yep.
and a range, stove, and $45,000. So yeah.
That's what I want. Just a pure chef's kitchen.
Yeah, I know. It's like a wine fridge too. Like it's great. They're great people. It's okay. They got a great dog.
Well, at least.
I'm not that jealous. And I get to destroy their house. So what am I saying?
Bonus.
Yeah.
Fuck them that way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm gonna be super careful when I'm putting it back together.
Yeah.
So I love this. There's just so many little things that you can analyze with the characters. Like Cougar's not in the movie very long. We see him here. We see him in another scene. He's basically out. So he quits. He turns in his wings.
Yep.
And he says, he's like, "What's on your mind?" He says, "My wife and kids."
Yeah. Almost orphaned him.
Yeah. And he's what, holding on too tight. So that's the theme here.
Yeah.
And he's lost the edge.
Which you need.
Right.
You need the edge.
You got to be kind of crazy.
A little.
Like, how could you not? Because it's not a reasonable. Yeah. You know, it's never safe.
No.
So that's another huge theme in this movie. It's just like no, you're not safe ever. And you just learn. And
well, you're sitting on a rocket essentially. Like you need to be a little crazy in general to do that.
Yeah. To even look at that and be like, oh man, I gotta be in there.
That's the thing I need to be doing right now. Is sitting on like 50,000 pounds of thrust and go 2.5 times the speed of sound is a great idea.
Yeah, it's good.
Which it is, and maybe that's why I'm a pilot, 'cause I'm kind of nuts like that too. But.
Well, the thing I'm like, it's like looking at a roller coaster as a kid or something, and for me, I'm just like, can I at least have a ride? Like, just the once. If I throw up, I throw up. Big deal. Like, at least I did it. I just want to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I get he's Cougar has good emotional intelligence.
Good word.
He says he just looks at himself and goes like, my family's too important. I can't abandon them. I'm gonna go ahead and not risk my life anymore.
And along with that, knowing that he's putting not only himself and his family in risk, but his Rio, right? Their radio intelligence officer behind him, so they're
right.
Someone else is, he's the pilot. He's flying.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't even have no control. He's just got something to hold on to.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that other life.
Yeah.
On top of that, and then all his fellow pilots as well, and everybody. And as the taxpayers, they mention it's like these. There's a lot of money going down there. It's just this really what it is the pressure you're just getting to them.
Yeah.
And that happens. We mentioned athletes too. Like,
sorry.
No worries. Did it off mic, ladies and gentlemen. Not everybody does that. No. That's so many episodes with old Paul.
Just hacking into the mic.
Yeah, he'll just. And I just did it, but like kicking stuff, like kicking the table,
licking the table.
He'll lick stuff, kick stuff.
Why not?
He's.
I've just been talking all weekend, so I need like a lozenge. It's okay.
Oh really?
No, we're good.
No worries, man. Yeah, should have got you some water. Beer's pretty good though.
Beer's better.
Beer, it really is. Wish I'd gotten more. I got a couple more. Anyway, so you get to so Cougar's out of here. We get it.
Yep.
And then you get to I don't know this actor's name. I just think of him as Strickland from Back to the Future. I don't know the character's name either. But anyway, he's sort of. I love this. They take these kind of tropes like.
I'm gonna look him up real quick.
Please, because he is so just like an angry police chief in this scene, where he says the classic line, which is
Doggo. Top gin, by the way, is what I typed in.
Top gin.
Yep.
Ooh.
Which I love gin.
Mm-hmm. Gin's dangerous for me, but I do love it. So he tells Maverick that basically his ego is writing checks that his body can't cash.
Nope.
It's like, man, do you even know what edge is? And Maverick, to his credit, doesn't say like, hey, you're sitting there at a desk while we're up there flying around, so...
Putting our asses on the line.
Yeah, exactly.
James Tolkien. Not to be confused with Tolkien.
Whoa.
James Tolkien.
James Tolkien. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
He's a badass. I love his style.
He's got attitude.
He's just so angry and...
Yeah.
I'd have a beer with that guy.
Right? He'd tell you a story.
Basically, Maverick's a bad boy. He's a wild card, I think is what it says about him at some point.
He's a maverick.
He's a maverick. That's why they call him that.
Yep.
But because Cougar left and he was number 1, and Maverick's number 2, now he's number 1.
Yep. Just mathematically.
Just mathematically makes sense, right?
Numerically.
Up he goes from 2 to 1, and he's being sent to Top Gun. This is pretty incredible for him.
Yeah.
And
the best of the best, as they say.
Right. Yeah, they're the elite.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this. If you screw this up, you'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong.
Which is funny because they would probably make way more money doing that than flying fighter jets.
Yeah, it's a good consistent, maybe more of like a family man sort of job.
Yeah.
You ever do the rubber dog shit run from?
I've flown all kinds of things, but not rubber dog shit.
It's gonna be that one day where it's like, what are we flying today, Andy? What is this?
Why does it smell? Yeah. No, I actually flew one of my first flying jobs. We were flying. We fly like live chicks and stuff for farming or whatever, and dead bodies occasionally.
Whoa, yeah, of course.
It's wild, but yeah, the chicks they're on. It smells like shit. And it's not rubber. I'll tell you that.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway.
You got some real shit. Okay. What's the thing? I just assume you're just flying, like you say, like everything.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be flown around.
That's
so
how trade works. But yeah, no.
Everything and everyone.
Great line, and
yeah.
I can't imagine how they got through that without laughing. I would laugh my ass off.
Oh, they must have when you're just reading the script. Just
right.
This script is.
And just right up there with his stogie, right in his face. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, it's like a big celebration, and he's smoking a stogie. I'm like, oh, he's smoking a stogie. I'm like, wait a minute, he's been smoking stogies this whole time.
Right?
Great life. Why not? He just yells at people and smokes big cigars.
Yeah.
I lost a bag of cigars around here somewhere, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's in my car or in here or something.
We'd
We'd be smoking them right now.
Sheet.
Now we get Maverick on his bike. Pretty. I mentioned Akira earlier. I immediately thought of that. Like he's just gonna do like a cool stop and stuff. But man, so cool.
Love it.
He sees the plane take off and like he does like a yeah.
That's me. I relate to that.
I'm sure.
Emotional level. Yeah.
You mentioned you just chill the whole time, just getting chills. And
yeah. No, it's just that power. Like that plane weighs, like max weight is like 78,000 pounds.
Wow.
And each engine puts out about 29,000 pounds of thrust. So horsepower, that's like
you did the math.
well over 100,000. Like there's a complex equation.
Yeah.
But well over 100,000 pounds of horsepower.
Wow.
100,000 horsepower, basically, not pounds of horsepower.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
That's just nuts.
That's too much.
It's because I can't even wrap my head around.
No.
Like I can't. It's outside of my experience. Like literally.
Like my car is 210 horsepower.
Right. And you've whipped that thing around.
Yeah, and it's punchy. It's punchy. The jet I fly has got a lot of get up and go to it, but like, it doesn't go twice the speed of sound. I'll tell you that.
It's crazy, and I think what I think about is like all the like kind of black operations that like you don't know about,
right?
And like
Area 51 stuff.
That stuff, and like just like there are programs that apparently the way they talk about it is because they can't say anything. They're like anything you can imagine we can do.
Yeah.
So I can imagine quite a bit.
Yeah.
And like when the real life thing that at least what we know about,
right?
40 years ago or whatever, whenever this movie came out.
It's like 30 something. Anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah. When was this? 80 something.
80. Whatever.
This happens a lot on the podcast. We're like, what year did this come out?
I want to say 82, 83, maybe 86.
It's somewhere in there.
I think it's 86.
You sound the most confident. 86. Classic 86 movie. Point being, 35 years ago or whatever it was, and we're seeing this, and the horsepower of this thing. Just imagine some of the stuff that's out there now, and like, what can a pilot do to even cope with that? Like
for reference, the Saturn V rocket that like routinely goes to 160 million horsepower.
Wee-hoo!
That's so fast. That's so many horses. Picture that many horses.
I can't.
You can't.
I've never seen that many in
What
my
does
life.
160 million look like of anything?
I don't know.
It's a lot.
That's the thing when it gets to those numbers. It's like with money when you're just like, the person has like $5 billion.
What is that?
Okay, like.
Yeah. How many regular things do you buy with that? Like,
right.
There's nothing.
You can't contextualize it. Even things that have inflated prices, I just can't even imagine it.
Just plebs like us, anyway.
Are you impressed by these fucking jet planes yet, guys?
Well, you should be.
Serious shit. And he's on his bike, and I'm sure that's fun too.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So we get like the first, I guess, just briefing with Michael Ironside. Jester shows up.
So the nugget I had.
Yes.
For any fans out there of Splinter Cell like myself.
Oh, cool.
He's the voice of Sam Fisher.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Right?
Great voice.
So good.
So awesome.
So good. I can't do it.
Who could do that voice?
You have to be Michael Ironside.
He just smokes the right cigarettes or something.
Right?
He just has that.
Rasp.
Yeah. Just like I was never a good looking man. I went bald when I was 25.
Yeah. Relied on my voice.
Yeah.
Purely.
I'm 5'7", but I'm tough.
Is he only 5'7"?
I don't know. He looks like a smaller guy.
Right?
Like if he just didn't have the attitude and the badassness, he would play like the dopey dad on a sitcom or something.
Totally.
But his eyes, just
so intense.
Yeah. As a guy with scary eyes, I really appreciate Michael Ironside. So now we're learning about. We get a little kind of audience, telling us what's going on. Viper comes out. Great mustache.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Michael Scarrett, I think his name is.
Tom Scarrett.
Tom Scarrett.
I'm sure you took one look at him and was just like, "That's it.
That's the one." that haircut, and that stash.
So good.
So dusty. It's the best. It's the best.
It really is. No, he's great. He wears the Top Gun hat at one point.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. I really was like, yeah, Thomas Garrett. Yeah, I need more of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. He tells him like, you're the elite, you're the best of the best.
Yeah.
Which like, I don't know. I remember being like a snotty film student watching this and just being like, this is cheesy. And like now I'm like, this is real. This is so cool. Like I'm like a kid again. It's so funny.
Opinions change as you matured.
You realize, I realized I wasn't as cool as I thought I was.
No. And what is actually cool?
Yeah, and that you're not too cool for Top Gun.
No.
Yeah. So there's this plaque of names, and it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. There aren't that many names on there, but that's when like you win this weird competition.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool way of like framing everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like okay, you know, there's all the personal details and other layers, but ultimately we're watching a competition.
Yeah.
Between a bunch of like really motivated guys who are really good at what they do.
Sports aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's also, this could all be a football movie,
right?
And you just change a few things.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Be like, play, this happens in the game of football, okay? Yeah. Sometimes people die, and like, you know?
I mean, they're both wearing helmets.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much there.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah. It has the same excitement to it.
Yeah.
And the same, I don't know,
vigor,
depth, but also like relatability.
Yeah.
Even though these people are doing larger than life things. Even though they're somewhat true life, you know.
Yeah.
Aside from some details.
We gotta make it entertaining to everybody. Right?
Yeah. It's all visual storytelling. Damn good visual storytelling. Yeah. Viper tells Maverick that he's arrogant and he thinks it's going one way. But no, he's like, I love that.
Yeah.
And he says, look, this is war. There's no second place.
None.
Yeah. Which is great too, because like with Maverick, there's always this chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something. He can't just be the best. He has to have been. He was number 2, and he kind of fluked his way into this.
Right. So now you got something extra to prove.
Yep. And he's. I never actually really, or I just forgot this about the movie, was that he banged a admiral's daughter, and like so he's famous for being this like rake.
Penny Benjamin.
Right. Yeah. Penny Benjamin. Yeah, Penny Benjamin. You know, and so he's this ladies' man, of course. But he's good at it.
Yeah.
Like he is.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah. And he sees something he wants and he goes for it. He gets it. Iceman's kind of mean to. It's great though, because this is where you see Goose, his ability to help Maverick, because with his life and just his interpersonal stuff. Because Maverick's got some darkness, but Goose is having so much fun all the time. Right. It's like, because Iceman, I can't remember what he says. He says like, oh, the alternates are in the ladies' room or something. Yeah. And Goose just goes, oh my god, that's so funny!
Well, and Goose has 2 O's, boys. Like,
yeah, that's right, pointing at the flag.
Yeah. Mother Goose, man.
Yeah, man.
Icon.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen. Who is that actor though? I can't
Anthony
really.
Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in other stuff.
I'm sure he is.
That was his like one.
That was his big one, eh?
The big one.
That's good. Well, I'm glad to hear that it was just. Because sometimes it's like John. What's his name? John Cazale. I don't know how to say his name. The guy that played Fredo in The Godfather.
Oh yeah.
And he's in like a bunch of really good movies within a small time period, because then he died. Yeah. And I was like, shit. That's all. That's all we get.
At least you got something out of it.
Oh, something great. So they go to the bar, and he says there's a target-rich environment, which I really,
so corny.
Really like.
And it's the most 80s bar ever, too.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It is. You just hear the gated reverb in the drums.
Yeah.
But they're all, they got their sweet uniforms on, and it's like, look out, ladies, here we go.
Here, it's happening, whether you like it or not.
Who could resist? Goose explains Iceman's style. I like this a lot. It was like, it's all just, he just frustrates you and bores you into doing something stupid.
Yeah.
And screwing up, because he's just so solid and like methodical.
Yeah, cold as ice.
Cold as ice. He really is.
And speaking of cold, those frosted tips. Are next level.
Yeah, man. Oh man. He looks like a statue or something. Like, he really was.
Yeah.
You know, like, I see why they were like, yeah, that'll do for Batman.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
He didn't want to be Iceman originally. He didn't want anything to do with the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a wacky dude too.
He
though.
is.
Like, he really fell from grace later on. Like, he did the Isle of Dr. Moreau. He was like just on drugs the whole time,
right.
and then gained weight. And it's like,
Batman was kind of it.
yeah, that was not a good sign when you're doing the nipply Batman.
Ow, my hair.
He's chewing gum in a bar too, which I thought was really weird.
Don't do that.
Why are you chewing gum in a bar?
Don't do that.
Have a drink, man.
Right? That's tasted like mint and...
Anything. I mean, maybe, well, there's some minty drinks, but I wouldn't do that.
Still though.
And it's just so you can see him get right in
just
Maverick's face and be like, oh, man,
yeah.
shooting my gum at you.
Right?
And there's kind of this, they're just button heads under the surface and really directly.
Very obviously.
So Goose and Maverick now have this bet, $20, whether Mav can score a chick at that bar.
Yeah, if he can take a lady this time. Yes.
There's a lot of talk about there's being like gay subtext to this movie.
A lot.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, and I always go like, nah, what? That's see what you want in a movie, but I don't see it. And then there's a couple moments in this where I'm like, oh yeah, there it is.
That's the one.
Yeah, homoerotic thing right there.
Yeah.
So she's lost that love and feeling. Music's a big part of this movie.
Big part.
They really use every song to its fullest effect and fullest value.
And the Righteous Brothers, yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, it's damn good. And there's of course they got tons of backup. It's all those.
They all know what's going on.
They yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all know the words. It's no problem. Right. So they go up to Charlie. I wrote Blondie all my notes because I never knew her name before.
Like her real name or her character name?
The character name I never knew.
Charlie is what she would go by.
Yeah. Yeah, so they give it a go, sing She's Lost That Love and Feeling to this hapless woman. And she is charmed. I wrote the female is charmed.
The female is
female status charmed.
Yeah.
Mav sits with her, but she makes fun of his singing a little bit.
Yeah. Just a quick roast.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, stick with flying jets, fly away, or whatever.
Also, when she's like, you're a pilot, did your parents not like you? They named you Maverick?
Oh.
Like, I'm a naval aviator. I'm like, you cocky son of a bitch.
But she's like, everybody in my life, well, you don't know this yet, but she's like, I'm around you guys all the time. Like, you're going to have to do a little better than that.
Right?
She just flat out says it at one point. Like,
she sees 20 new hotshots every 8 weeks.
Right.
Why is he any different?
It's like, oh, you have a funny name too? Cool.
Yeah.
What else you got?
She plays it off real well. Though.
She's perfect. Like,
I love it.
Because there's always uncertainty in this movie. And you're just kind of like, maybe she will go for it this time.
Which way is it gonna... don't know where it's going.
And he says, I need a beer to put these flames out.
Bartender, yep!
So good. But then he goes into the bathroom with her.
Yeah, super creepy.
Very strange.
Doesn't age well.
No, this part is not. He's not like super weird, but they're kind of like flirty about it. Where she's like, "What, are you gonna bang me on the floor or whatever?" And he's like, "I was thinking this counter looks nice."
Yeah.
And then she leaves the bathroom. He says to Goose, like, "Your friend was amazing."
Yeah.
He's like, "What? No way!"
And then he walks up. Yeah, I did it. Smashed.
Again, there's levels to it. It's not like he's heartbroken completely. Like, he's still having fun with his buddies.
Yeah.
Now, who is this mystery woman? I guess we'll never see her again, but wait.
Probably not.
No, but dude, you do.
No.
Yeah!
There's more.
It gets more complicated from here. I think they say, like, it's going to be complicated.
Yeah, later.
They repeat that later on.
Yep.
So Michael Ironside, Jester. It's such a funny name for him because he's so serious.
He's not, and that's probably the irony why they call him Jester.
Yeah, Michael Ironside. Now this you must love this part. Just this beautiful woman describing different jets and stuff, and the different specs and everything. Like, obviously a lot of it goes over my head, but I'm still like, this is pretty cool.
It sounds as long as it sounds cool. Just leave it there.
It sounds very badass.
Yeah.
Like this, if this was the intro to like a video game or something, I'd be like, let's go!
Let's do all the things with it.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Mash the buttons! But he challenges her on something.
Yeah.
He's like, actually, you can be pretty awesome like I was, and, you know, so you're not totally right.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, she says something is impossible, basically.
Yeah.
She's just like, no, you couldn't have done that. And then he describes the incident, I think, where he flips the
4G negative.
guy off.
Yeah. I can elaborate on the fuel tank situation where you just pass by. That's fine. It's a little technical. We can move past it.
This could be the whole show, and it could be
just
very long.
Debunking things. It's a long enough movie, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts on a plane. That stuff is interesting though. Mm-hmm. But this interaction with them is obviously important because his mind is blown. He's like, I didn't think I'd ever see you, and here you are, and we're having this conversation, and but you're constantly impressed by him because he's not letting anything go. He's just like, oh sweet, I'm gonna mess with you.
When he does say that thing was impossible, or no, when she says it was impossible, and then he says what they did, they're inverted. Yeah. And Val Kilmer is Iceman. Goes bullshit. Totally ad lib.
Really?
Not scripted.
Oh, great.
And so the reaction was genuine. They're like, keep that in.
Yeah.
Roll it.
Fantastic.
Yep. Little nugget.
More nuggets. Keep them coming. But she is quite impressed. She knows this story, of course, and she says, "So you're the one." Ooh, what? She follows him down a hallway. Says she'd like to. Oh, she wants to find out about the MiG. It's a big deal because
in his roast.
What does he do?
Well, no, finish your thing.
Oh, it's for her career. Like it's a big deal that she find out as much as possible about these planes.
And then when he's like, "You ever see news? Go read about it."
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she was kind of
mic dropped.
Really like showing off her her cred.
Yeah.
Before, like, I got security clearance, so you can tell me whatever.
The Pentagon.
It's like, we got security clearance, so go
exactly.
find out yourself.
Right.
And get on my bike and get out of here. So cool.
Right? Like, come on.
It's classic. Like this is what it's like. You get the cat on the string. You know, he just dangles it out there and then pulls it away.
Right. No.
Yeah. There's an art to that as well.
Yep.
Yep. Top Gun training. I don't even know what to call it because it's like a training and a competition. So
yeah.
I guess it's training. Like they're learning to push themselves and.
Yeah, they're learning like advanced maneuvers and like when they should do things, but their practice is their like mock dogfights.
Right.
And whoever kills the other gets a point.
So and the instructors, of course, are like the top guys from this very Top Gun school. So thing. Yeah. I think they call it that in the movie. It's like a Top Gun thing, you know. You guys have seen Top Gun, right?
It's sort of like Top Gun.
Sir, we're in Top Gun, sir. Yeah, exactly. So dogfighting over these mountains. At one point, they're just like, "Watch out for the mountains!" It's like, oh jeez,
they're right there.
That's right. Yeah, that's got to be a bitch.
Just do like 500 miles an hour, like 1,000 feet above any obstacle. Pucker factor 10, I'll tell you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. My knots and knots. Mav and Goose versus Jester, so this is pretty cool. And Jester and whoever. So they do this maneuver where they he's behind them, I guess.
Yep.
They hit the brakes and he just goes right by them, and it's perfect because Michael Ironside's like looking over his shoulder like, where the hell did they go?
I'm Michael Ironside, don't they know who I am?
This balds my head.
This balds. Losing more hair. Fuck.
God damn it.
You know there's smoke.
I'm not even that important in this movie, but I'm so good. He is though. Jester I remember really well. Some awesome flying, sweet music. But they beat Jester, man.
Fuck him.
They get him.
They got him.
Yep.
Jester's dead.
Yeah.
To quote the movie.
And then the Top Gun theme plays.
Yeah.
You were just in Ontario.
Yep.
You ever go to Canada's Wonderland up there?
No.
It's okay. It's actually pretty great. It's better than what we have here in Vancouver, I'd say.
Yeah. Most things are better than Playland.
Most things are better than Vancouver.
No. Especially Toronto. Okay. That's for another time.
And you were in Saskatoon.
Things I hate.
You have perspective.
Yeah.
Now.
I do.
Hating Toronto, that's fine. It's
just American North.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. The Leafs got smoked, I think, while you were there. I'm not sure.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was really bad.
We digress.
We digress. Again. Yeah. We're going back to hockey talk.
Yeah. Where's Brendan Batchelor?
I know. I went to high school with Brendan Batchelor. Look him up.
Yep.
Guy makes my drives home.
Nice.
Wow, I totally got thrown off here.
That's okay. We're fighting Michael Ironside. We let him blow past.
Right, they beat him,
Yep.
but then Maverick is he can't just win. He can't.
No.
It's too simple.
Mm-mm.
He has to do something bad boy.
Showboat.
So he has permission. He asks for permission to fly by the tower and fuck with everybody. And they say no, and he's like, well, I really am just wanting to fuck everybody, so he buzzes.
But I know you mean yes.
He's like, so I'm gonna do it. And they fly by the tower. Dude spills coffee on himself for the first time.
Yeah. Wait, there's more?
Oh, you'll see. He spills so much coffee.
He has bad luck with coffee.
That's gotta suck. He spills on his uniform too.
Right? That's the worst.
Come on, that's like, it's gotta go change now.
Yeah.
And he's probably got shit to do because he's got to handle the situation.
Right.
So they're kind of, showing their colors here, and we'll see how that goes down.
No, well.
Iceman is more serious. He's not into that.
No.
They're in the change room. Iceman's like, I'm in this movie to show off my abs. And he does.
Yes.
The rest of them have clothes on. He's the only one who's like, look how scary I am. It works for the scene because he's like,
he's pretty young.
I'm way bigger than Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And, in pretty good shape. The drugs haven't ruined him yet.
Not yet.
He's just, a golden god.
Right? I like how we're both just like puffing each other.
It's hard not to improve your posture when you talk about Iceman.
Oh,
my hair is starting to stick up again.
Yeah. It just starts morphing.
I'm gonna start frosting these bad boys.
You should.
Frost the tips of my beard before I shave it off.
For funsies. It's so terrible.
Yeah, and he says Maverick's dangerous, which Maverick just kind of chuckles in his face, But Iceman, he stays cool. He doesn't. Yeah. He's waiting for Maverick to do something.
Yeah, it's not just in the airplane where he wakes you the fuck up.
This is his core. That's his personality.
All the way through.
And he really is the best. So he's got a confidence to him. Yeah. He's like, I didn't even want to be in this movie. I'm too cool for this shit.
Legit.
But what made him change his mind? That's what I want to know. I missed that part.
I forget why.
He was just like,
okay. That sounds kind of dope. Like, maybe I'll fly a real jet. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they do.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a curious. I'll look deeper into this.
Yeah.
It's neat. Oh, Val Kilmer, you're so complicated.
Right? So many. He's an onion. He's an onion.
He is. Viper's pissed, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in his own way.
Yeah.
He's serious about it, and he's like, look, you can't just do this. Like, you can't just break rules. Because, he was too low? He was below the hard deck.
Yeah.
Which isn't a term I'm really...
So, even in,
I get it.
Yeah, so, even nowadays, in air-to-air combat, there's a hard deck. Whoops, Mike did. And, so basically it's an altitude below which you cannot pass. Unless you start endangering people on the ground.
Right.
So, in this sortie hop, it's 10,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So anything below that is no go. So we call it no joy, being like, I can't, I'm out. It's like a tap, red flag it, when you call no joy.
Okay.
We actually use that phrase day to day when we're flying. ATC could tell us, when a plane's being spotted, we can say no joy.
Oh.
Anyway.
Neat.
But yeah, so it's just basically a rule, it's international. If you're going to go ahead and fight aircraft, you can't go over a certain altitude. It's different everywhere.
Sure.
But it's rules of engagement. Just like there's war crimes, you can't do certain things like white phosphorus, chemical stuff. Can't do it. Same thing with air-to-air combat. There's an altitude you have to stay above. And without that, then you're in trouble.
So Maverick not only went below that, but he fired while he was down there.
Yeah.
So not so good. And he explains himself. He's like, look, in practical terms, it made sense. It's like, no.
But still.
Did you hear what Dan said? It's international.
Yeah, you should know that now. Come on.
The bad guys are doing it, for God's sake.
Right,
So he's really like, this is not flexible, neither am I. You've hit a wall now. You've been pretty much getting away with anything. You went in the ladies' room.
Yeah.
Like, he can do whatever, but no.
This is day one.
This is bigger than all of us. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's like,
way to make an impression, man.
Right?
He's Maverick.
Yeah.
He's like Batman. He's got no parents. It's tough.
Yeah.
And he loses not his Robin, but his goose.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that,
Still another bird.
Speaking of which, you can see for a hot minute here, I thought Viper was Piper. Because I thought, it's a bird.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Well,
and I'm like, Viper, that's way more badass. Okay.
Definitely.
I think I underestimated him at first as a result, and then I'm like,
He's the Piper.
Piper. We almost called her Dog Piper. Yeah, and I was like, that's too girly. So we went with Momo, after an anime character.
Oh, yes.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Mm-hmm. So Goose is. I wrote cool lighting. I didn't mention that enough because there's so much going on. But like, I don't know. I love like when they're. It's like in the aircraft carrier, it's very like red and blue, kind of like what we got going on here today.
Themed.
Yeah. I love that color scheme, of course.
Yeah, that works.
It looks cool and really pops. And then, I don't know, just tons of cool lighting. But here it was neat, like, Viper had a real, like, this big kind of yellowy window behind him, and it creates like a godlike almost feel to him.
For sure, yeah.
It's pretty neat, because he's fairly low-key. Anyway, so Goose is freaked a bit. He's thinking of becoming a truck driver.
Fly cargo plane, truck driver, be truck driver, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He skips right over flying fake shit.
Yeah.
All the way to just driving a truck.
Just trucking fake shit.
Trucking was kind of cool for a while.
Yeah.
There was kind of a trucker culture and stuff. Gotta bring that back. You gotta respect the trucks.
You gotta get goods from one place to another.
Truckers. Yeah.
Somehow.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's trains, but anyway.
Trains are stupid.
Yeah, fuck trains. But anyway, Viper and Jester are kind of having a talk about Maverick, which is kind of cool. It's almost like this omniscient, limited omniscient world where you can see just behind. I wonder what those guys are saying not to his face, and it's neat because Viper asked Jester, like, what do you think of him, and he's like, I just don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, that it's great. Yeah, exactly. Wild card, and it just keeps everything. I'm like, you're a Jester. You're a Joker. You're a wild card too.
Right.
Takes one to know one, I guess. But they leave it open, and I'm sitting there going like, I guess we'll find out.
We're gonna have to wait.
The suspense does not go away.
No.
That's the important part, because there's a lot of not flying in this movie. A lot of other things. Yeah. So you got to keep it dramatic at all times, or fun, or whatever. Something. Anywho, but the question is, like, is this someone you'd want to go into battle with?
Right.
And that's the real thing. Yeah.
Can you trust him to be your wingman?
Yeah. That's a big question, man.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, he left beginning of the movie, pretty hard.
Oh, yes.
To stick around with the MiG. So.
Right. Yeah, and that's right. Yeah. He learns his lesson on that in a training later, kind of.
Yep.
It's like, anyway. A lot of stuff happens in this movie. Now Goose is thinking of his family. Shit.
Right.
Don't worry about it, man. Just keep flying. Don't be like Cougar. Keep going. Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah.
and he's like, man, I came here wanting to be the best. Now I just want to graduate.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is tough. I've kind of like been there too.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, you go in like, I'm gonna be the top dog at whatever you're doing, and then at some point you realize like this is way harder than I thought.
Yeah, damn. What am I doing?
Or you hit a snag or whatever, and you're like, I just hope I get through this.
Right.
Relatable. There's always vulnerability with these macho men.
Yes.
It's kind of cool,
They are human.
I could totally see it as a movie where there's no emotion too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're just stoic and
like, I'm thinking about my family. Shut up! And you just slap them, and it's like,
no, you're not.
I changed my mind. I'm gonna go kill some people. He's thinking of his family. Just wants to graduate. And Mav says, I got no family except you, Goose. So, oh man, so really he's in a way he's kind of the reason Goose is sticking around.
Yeah.
Because he's got other motivations that Maverick doesn't really have, because he's got nobody.
Yeah.
Emotional guitar solo, so it's more heartfelt this time.
Yeah.
Not as exciting and romantic. Just. I like this. He doesn't exactly say it this way, but yeah, he uses the word ghost. Goose says like, it's like you're fighting a ghost up there.
Yeah.
Pretty spooky. Mm-hmm. Was this a Halloween episode?
Well, we're close.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So Blondie, Charlie, says that's the whole Says Mav's tactics are aggressive, and he's like, yeah, and he flirts with her and says, like, well, I go for something that I want.
Yeah.
She doesn't date students, she says. Oh, yeah, not making it easy. It takes a lot more than just fancy flying. So it's like we were saying, like, she's been there, done that. She's seen it all.
Used to it.
Yeah, you know, you're competing with every other pilot that she's ever seen, and every other man she's ever seen.
Yeah. And they're a cocky group, let's be honest.
Right, like how many times has this happened to her, right?
Yeah.
They're really setting up like she's got her defenses up.
Yeah.
But these are good actors. And
you
can tell what's going on. They have chemistry. Then some guy named Slider. Yeah, says crash and burn, huh, Mav? Mav goes, Slider, you stink. Yeah.
That's Jamie's favorite line. My wife, by the way. She, all time favorite line in most movies. Yeah, just when he leans in and Slider or whatever. Yeah. Slider, you stink. And he just does that. Do I? And I mean, they're also sweaty all the time. How can you?
I know they have to. Right. Like, there's a lot. Showering is a big deal.
A lot
in this, and they'll just go play volleyball, pop a t-shirt on, and just go for a ride. And oh God. I mean, I'm sure walking into this room, someone would be like,
it's thick.
There are dudes in here.
It smells like boys. Is that?
You guys are Italian?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Just a smidge.
So volleyball. So here we go.
Yeah.
One thing that really bothered me was Mavericks wearing jeans.
Right?
I was like, that doesn't look comfortable.
Or functional.
No. Volleyball, you gotta like bend your knees a lot, and like that's the whole thing. You gotta wrap your knees, and
if you dive and stuff,
you fall on your knees, and you're diving. You need full mobility to play volleyball. Right. But it seems like he's just like, no, abs are out, all good.
That's all that counts.
Also, Tom Cruise is one of the worst bodies on the beach. I found out. It's weird. You just think of him as being like the cool actor, and I'm sure he thinks of himself that way. But and it's like, man, you're really getting like outshined here by some of these guys,
right?
Which is fine.
Yeah,
makes him the hero, and he's among equals.
Yeah,
because so many movies, it's like, okay, there's Tom Cruise and then normal people.
Right, it's just pedestaled.
Yeah.
Thing. Funny part about this scene, Tony Scott felt kind of gross apparently when he was filming it. He felt like it was like soft porn, and it was very homoerotic.
He's right.
Well, they were like baby oiling the guys, and
they're touching each other.
Yeah, just like the double high fives, which I personally love.
I like those a lot. Do you want to try one of those?
What?
Yeah. Okay, this one. That's it.
That was it. That was pretty much.
We're white.
If you didn't know earlier.
If you can figure it out.
We high-fived. But yeah, no, funny thing too is, if you watch that scene again, there's barely any shots of Val Kilmer.
Oh.
He's in shots, but
he's like
Goose gets his time, Mav gets his time, Wolfman he's doing that.
Right.
Those big, like flexy scenes. Not so much ice. And Val Kilmer still kind of choked about it.
Really?
Yeah, I watched the thing like a couple months ago. It just popped up on YouTube.
Just pouting about it.
Like,
I should have been.
He's like, I'm pretty sure Tom Cruise went behind and cooked some of the reels.
He's probably not wrong though. Like he's the lead.
Right.
He's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Anyway.
Too bad.
So sad.
Yeah, all on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
You just see those like pieces of film just drifting down with like Iceman just
Val
spiking with his
big
lats.
shiny nipples glistening in the sun. It's a San Diego sun.
He's doing like a chest bump with his teammate and his sweat goes everywhere.
Just slowing.
There's like an alternate cut now. It's like it's this highway to the danger zone. It's just Val Kilmer just smoking everybody.
Yeah, splattering sweat everywhere. His tip wiggling slowly.
He hits someone in the face with the ball and just sprays another guy's eyes.
It's so salty.
Cool high fives.
But then Mav's got to go.
That's right. Goose is like, come on, one more game, I can't win without you.
I don't know if you noticed, but as they're walking away, Wolfman's like, come on, Mother Goose, you pussy.
Yeah, I love that.
It's so funny. Why Goose? Like, he's not the one leaving.
I know, that was weird. But he's just like, come back here and play the fucking game.
Right.
We're so amped right now. We can't lose momentum. I get it. I like the way Tom Cruise puts on a t-shirt in this scene.
So sweaty.
It's so, and like...
the shirt goes on.
He's just like, he puts it on the way he does everything else, which is like, I'm going to do this intense.
Yeah.
He takes the shirt, like very quickly whips his shades off, pulls the shirt on really fast, puts the shades back on. He's like, sorry, Goose, gotta go.
And then like puts the shit on out of his jacket. And it's like, oh.
Sweet jacket,
yeah,
too.
so cool doing that.
Oh, man. And then the tone changes a bit with Take My Breath Away and a sunset bike ride. Berlin. It's funny, the continuity stuff and the technical things with the dogfights and everything is going to bother you more. For me, it's things like just continuity things. So like he it seems like he's at her house for 5 minutes because he pulls up in his bike and the lighting is lighting setup A, which is just sunset or whatever, and it looks all sepia. He goes by the palm trees, goes to her place, and then when he leaves, it's the exact same lighting, and I was like, okay, that bothered me a little bit. I mean, whatever. In the ultimate, it's all magic and it's all fine, but
no, I noticed things like that too. It's like, but it was like
it's style. It's okay.
Yeah.
Shrug it off. On to the next thing. But yeah, he goes to Charlie's place and lets himself in.
Yeah.
This actually confused me. I was like,
pretty bold.
Very bold.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to take a shower.
Yeah. His fixation on showering.
Yeah. Maybe he's just like that.
Yeah.
The Rock showers 3 times a day.
Well.
Makes sense, right?
He works out like 5 times a day.
Exactly.
And films 3 movies a day.
Yeah. So he's got to be,
fresh.
Yeah. He's huge. He's got to generate just crazy sweat.
Right?
Just lumbering around.
Just smells like tequila and peanut butter pancakes. That's all I see him ever eat on Instagram.
Yeah. I know, I've seen those. He's just like, every 100 days I eat just like more food than
eat the whole year. Yeah.
Goes to her place. Wants to shower, but she's like, no, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
We're having dinner with wine right now.
Yeah.
Scene gets a bit boring. Actually, I went to get a beer at this point.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Not much happens.
No, and I get that's the thing. You kind of this movie's generally unpredictable, and this part is a little bit predictable.
Yeah. The only nugget you get is he kind of like relishes in the memories of his mom, at least.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Some that's
backstory is important.
Really, that's it. Like,
yeah, his dad was a pilot. Disappeared in F4 in 65. Yeah. And he says the stink of it was he screwed up, but my old man was a great fighter pilot. Of course he was.
He was Maverick 1.0.
He's got the pedigree going on. Yeah. She asks if that's why he's always second. Yeah. So that he's fighting that ghost that Goose was talking about. These are great characters. Yeah. Like, they're so solid and there's so little fluff. But they're, they got some depth to them.
There's depth, yeah.
They get close, like, here it is. And then he gets up and he's like, I smell terrible, I'm going to have a shower, bye.
Deuces, see you later.
Yeah, brought my own shampoo.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet if he had like a holster in his bike where he pulls his like all in one out.
Head and shoulders.
Yeah. No flakes for me today.
Dandruff be gone.
There's a commercial.
Right?
Jeez.
Missed opportunity.
Well, if anybody out there needs a sweet commercial made, I'll at your boys. That'd be sweet. A bunch of fighter pilots and shit going by, and the guy's like,
That's a straight up Old Spice move.
Yeah, kind of, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Those ads aren't as good as they were.
No.
They had a golden age about, like 10 years ago or whatever? Yeah. They don't make them like they used to.
Back in my day.
He bikes home. He bikes home in the same light that he got.
In the same light.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's magic. It's okay. Romantic elevator with her. This one's cool. He's shirtless now, and because he had a shower.
Yeah.
Again. Fine transition, I guess.
Yeah. Sure.
Loose. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was like a sweatbox session where they were like figuring out the script, like, okay, how do we go from here to here? It's like, what if he just showers in both scenes?
Finally.
Perfect.
Gets to it.
Yeah. And she looks kind of like, I like what she's got going on. She's got like the ball cap on and everything. I'm like, what is this?
Oversized leather jacket.
Yeah. This is weird. This is working.
Right.
I can go with this. But then there's like some officers in there with him, and he's just like, He's like, sir, hello?
Yep.
Just standing here with my shirt off. Don't worry about me.
Not making it awkward at all.
Goose makes a joke about AIDS. He kisses his wife, and his kid says, "Daddy," and it's like, like you said, it's the like totally idyllic vision of a great family.
Yeah.
Because and he deserves it. He's a great guy.
He's Goose.
He is.
Yeah.
Took a little shirt inspiration from him.
I noticed. I like that. I'm super jealous of his getup. I like it.
Yeah, you got to take notes on this whole film. Like, you need a jacket like Maverick's because you can pull it off. Like, you know, you're like, are you a pilot? Yes.
Can't you tell by what I'm wearing?
Goose jokes about AIDS, blah, blah, blah. Viper does another lecture, and in this one he's reinforcing the importance of safety. Yeah, he's the most solid. Just like, look, here it is. And Maverick's maneuver is called a mistake, and Charlie admits that it worked, but kind of gives him crap about it.
Yeah.
She's like, look, your thing worked, but you know, Viper's right here, man. Like, I can't. Yeah.
Make it obvious.
But I don't know who this was. I missed it. I just wrote a guy, one of the other pilots, like leans forward and says he's like, Maverick, that was one of the most gutsy moves I've ever seen.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's Hollywood.
Is that who it is?
Pretty sure.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's Hollywood or Sundown. One of there's like.
It's hard to tell because he's like leaning over, and maybe you're supposed to like see his cool hair or something, and that's like,
that's the one.
It's not like Full Metal Jacket where I know exactly who all the guys are.
Right? Yeah.
They all have kind of like, their names are funnier in that one and everything.
Yeah.
Probably came around the same time.
I think so.
Pretty weird. So different. And yet similar in some ways. You have Joker and Jester and Animal Mother and Mother Goose. You don't see a guy blow his brains out on a toilet in this one. That'd be a very different film.
Yeah.
But that's the magic of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
It's not in tune.
Not right.
Not in tune with what we got going on.
Yeah, we're tuned into something a little higher. I don't know. The way they talk about being up there sometimes is just so like mystical and fantastical.
Yeah.
So this is great. This is when I really start to like Charlie, actually, is when she like, up to this point I'm kind of like, she seems like, okay, you're a career woman, I get it, and you're torn between, all right.
Yeah.
But here she really impresses because she gets in her like, whatever that car is, an awesome car.
Yeah, I forget what it is.
I don't know, we have a classic cars book there, I'm sure we'd find it because it is great. Yeah. And she kind of chases him down and he's like, fuck off, gets on his bike and goes to be mysterious in the back cave. She gets into her sweet car, nearly crashes at an intersection. Yep. And he's like, Jesus, what are you doing? Like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And he's mad, but she explains, like, look, I couldn't say, what I think, which is like, you're a genius, basically. Like, I think she uses the word, like, you have genius, or you are a genius.
It's something,
something like that. Like, you're really special. You're not just really good. Like, the rest of these guys are obviously great, but you're just so amazing.
Yeah, you fly out the seat of your pants, but like not for funsies. It's like there's logic to it. Mm-hmm. Like he can predict what the other guy is going to do to him before it happens, right?
And like he has a spark of creativity, of course, because he's doing stuff that it's gutsy. Yeah. Like that dude was saying, but it's also like, who thinks to?
It's unorthodox.
Yeah, who thinks to like flip a guy off to get rid of him when you can't shoot him?
Right.
It's kind of how I live my life, frankly.
Yeah.
That's how I drive. Behind the wheel of the car is just like, I'm like, well, I can't shoot you. I'm less liberal with I'm less trigger happy with the flipping the bird these days because like I'm just less of a dick maybe, or less angry, or I'm just tired of being angry while driving. I'm
the guy that if I know if you're being a shit driver and I've done something to piss you off, I'm not going to flip you off. I'm going to make it worse by, like, smiling at you.
Yes, exactly.
Or, like, thumbs up. Just dumb shit to, like, antagonize.
Yeah.
Because that's the person.
A smile is the best thing.
So annoying.
A guy was, he gave me I, like, smiled at him and he gave me a dirty look the other day. Yeah. And I won't repeat what I called him, but it wasn't very nice. And then I didn't even think about it. I was just walking for a bit, and then you know that feeling, like, I'm being watched? Yeah. I'm walking my dog and I turn around and sure enough he's walking right at me and I just gave him like the big smile.
Just crazy eyes.
Not even crazy. I mean, a little bit.
little.
But I'm just like smiling like you saw your best friend. You're like, eh. And he's like, and he stopped in his tracks, and I was like, and I just turned around and kept walking, and I looked over my shoulder, and he's walking the other way.
No, threw him off.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't need to fight people anymore. I can just screw with them so hard.
Right. And a lot of people don't expect that, so they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And we mentioned driving. There's so many bad drivers here. You never run out of opportunities. It's just amazing.
I saw a meme, and it's like, if you're not pissed off when you're driving, it's because you're not paying attention.
Yeah, because
like,
everyone else is pissed at you, probably. You know, it's really true. Yeah, we mentioned Brendan Batchelor. He calls the Canucks games. And, yeah, just like having the radio on all the time is my new strategy to just, like... I never did that before. I was always just like, just focus on driving. And it's like, no, man, have like a bunch of people just talking shit on the radio.
Yeah.
Podcasts, eh?
That's what I do. That's what I do.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
God, if it's like, yeah, we're going to fly you to Toronto, or you're stuck in Saskatoon, or, excuse me.
Nice.
Wait, that means I'm ready for another
Yeah.
We should take a break soon. About halfway through my notes here. Yeah, just having that like bit of I don't know.
Disconnect.
That's it. You're not holding on. You can just let go and keep my edge.
You don't hold on too tight.
Yeah. It's all about letting go, man. I love that theme so much. I really do. I think, and again, I keep mentioning watching this at different stages, but older I get, more I'm like, it's true, you kids.
It's not always important, but incomplete thought.
Hey, let it go, man.
Yeah.
I guess let's just we can. This is a good part to have a little break on. I wrote about their love scene. I wrote they fuck.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's.
But I wrote romantic.
Is it though?
I picked up on that. Well.
Okay, it's sort of romantic.
It was kind of boring. I don't, what am I missing here?
Okay, wait. Not like the one that's like so like just them.
It's like blue in there.
Yeah.
And they're just
it's like that light, and it's just like them silhouette.
Yeah.
The amount of tongue that you see.
Oh.
Do you not remember?
No. This is another scene where I kind of went like, oh, it's kissing. I'm gonna look at my phone or something.
Ew,
because I'm 10 years old. Apparently.
No, it's like okay, back up a little bit. When after they finish going at each other at the car, and then they're just like going to like a huge makeout session in the middle of the road. And they're like eating each other's face.
Oh yeah.
And then they go to the sex scene.
Right.
And it is like, again, 1.5 times speed, but it's just like tongues, just like.
Oh wow. Ding.
Yeah, it's.
Oh man.
It's wild.
I gotta go back and rewatch that. And really appreciate the.
It's a lot.
Cool. I mean, hey, I'm trying to think of like how that goes with their personalities. I guess it kind of does.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
Dan and I are gonna go watch.
We're gonna go watch
some softcore porn.
Yeah.
This is the straight softcore porn part of this movie. Great.
The volleyball's behind us.
Yeah, that we're done with that now. We're on to the. Yeah, I figure we'll take a quick break there, refresh our pumpkin flavored beers.
Need another one.
And we'll be right back with more Top Gun talk.
Stuff.
Crash and burn on that intro. Blech. Yeah.